Have you forgotten your main quest? Every game has one. A main quest. A destination. A reason for everything you do. Not because it's the only thing you can do, but because it's the reason everything else matters. You can spend hours exploring. You can complete side quests. You can collect every item and uncover every secret. But eventually, every game asks the same question. Are you ready to continue the story? And whether we realize it or not, life asks us that same question every day. The Roman philosopher Seneca once wrote, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." At first, that sounds obvious. Of course, we need a destination. Of course, we need a goal. But if that's true, why do so many people feel lost, despite being busier than ever? Why do we move from task to task, day after day, only to feel as though we've made little meaningful progress? Maybe the answer is simpler than we think. Maybe we've forgotten our main quest. In Sekiro, Wolf never has that problem. His journey is brutal. He faces impossible enemies. He suffers defeat after defeat. He dies again and again. Yet through every setback, one thing remains unchanged: his objective. Protect Kuro. Everything else is secondary. Every battle, every decision, every sacrifice, filtered through a single purpose. He isn't driven by fame. He isn't chasing wealth. He isn't trying to become the strongest warrior in Ashina. He's simply honoring the duty he chose to carry. And because of that, Wolf always knows what comes next. Not because the path is easy, but because the destination is clear. Real life is rarely that simple. Most of us don't wake up with a quest marker hovering in the distance. There's no journal reminding us what matters most. No narrator guiding us toward the next objective. Instead, we're surrounded by distractions, notifications, entertainment, responsibilities, endless demands competing for our attention. And while none of these things are inherently bad, they create a problem that every gamer already understands. Side quest. Side quests can be fun. Some are memorable. Some teach us valuable lessons. Some are absolutely worth doing. But they only have value because they exist alongside the main story. Imagine spending hundreds of hours in a game completing every side quest you can find, collecting every achievement, exploring every corner of the map, only to realize you never advanced the main story at all. It sounds ridiculous, yet I think many of us do exactly that. We stay busy. We stay occupied. We stay in motion. But motion is not the same thing as direction. You can run at full speed and still end up nowhere you intended to go. And I think that's where many people find themselves. Not lacking discipline, not lacking intelligence, not lacking potential, simply lacking clarity. Because when you know your objective, decisions become easier. Distractions become easier to recognize. And setbacks become easier to endure. When Wolf falls, he gets back up. Not because he's immune to failure. Not because the journey suddenly becomes easier. But because he remembers what he's fighting for. His objective never changes. And that's what makes him so powerful. Not his sword, not his skill, his clarity. So let me ask you a question. If I asked you what your main quest is right now, could you answer immediately? Not your job title, not your responsibilities, not what other people expect from you. What are you deliberately becoming? What are you actually moving toward? Maybe you know. Maybe you don't. But it's a question worth asking. Because without an objective, every distraction begins to feel equally important. Every opportunity demands your attention. Every path seems just as meaningful as the last. And eventually, it's easy to lose sight of what mattered in the first place. Wolf's greatest strength isn't that he never falls. It's that he never forgets why he gets back up. And maybe that's the reminder some of us need. Not more motivation. Not another productivity hack. Not the perfect plan. Just a clear objective. Because once you remember your main quest, the next step becomes much easier to see. Games don't ask us to finish everything before moving forward. They simply ask us to take the next step, to continue the story. Maybe life is asking us the same thing. And sometimes, the next step is all you need. If you enjoyed this reflection, consider subscribing. It helps support the channel and motivates me to continue creating videos like this. You may also enjoy my reflection on The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, where I explore why we don't really miss the game itself. We miss who we were when we first played it. Until next time, don't forget your main quest. Endure, reflect, rise. I return to my citadel.